Okay, there we are.
This is it.
This is it. This is us.
The moment of truth. Oh, man.
So many things.
What is today the 21st?
Today is the 21st, Monday.
21st. The solar eclipse happened today.
Yeah. About 1 o'clock today in Oklahoma. Yeah. That was still pretty funny. We did it like bosses.
It's very anticlimactic for us.
Yeah, no, completely. Especially given the fact that I just got back from Colombia where it went right over.
God, that would have been awesome.
I know. But let's see. So yeah, what did we do? First off, I drove all the way downtown.
Oh, that's right. You drove to the Myriad Gardens
where
they were giving out free glasses.
And those bunch of liars got lied to because it was all counterfeit, so they couldn't get them out.
They couldn't prove 100. They had already ordered them and they had all of them, but then they got worried that they couldn't hand them out because they couldn't 100% prove without a doubt they were not counterfeit.
Right.
But they ordered them.
Exactly.
You're
like a company. You should verify other companies.
Yeah, you would think that that's something they'd look into before they bought all of these glasses.
Yeah. So that was weird. And then they were trying to sell me on these pinhole cardboard cutouts to view it, and I was like, "But you're not really looking at it. You're looking at it.
Yeah.
With those, you look at a reflection, or a shadow or something." So that was weird.
Were they selling them?
I don't
for
know.
money?
I didn't really ask them. They just said those were the only options, and yeah, real weird. So,
can you imagine that situation? It's like, okay, everybody, listen up. These glasses might be counterfeit. We need you to all go to the dumpster behind the Myriad Gardens and find all of the cardboard you can and start making these.
Stick your head in these things. And
if they don't smell too badly of urine, then we need you to make these out of them.
Right now. Grab a pencil, stab a hole in them. That was the other thing is like I was walking around and there's the reason I didn't even ask about them or, didn't go investigate them further was because I kept seeing all these people, and they looked so stupid because they were walking around with basically cardboard boxes on their heads with a little hole in it, like looking up at the sun.
Isn't that's something that if we were to see in a textbook of people like 2,000 years ago, we'd be like, what a bunch of idiots looking at the sun through cardboard.
Like we think they're part of a weird cult, the whole civilization worshipped the inside of cardboard boxes.
Yeah. How much have we changed? How advanced are we really? Like we're looking at the sun through fucking cardboard.
Yeah, we're still sticking things on our heads.
We're the greatest species, guys.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is I wonder how many people got permanent retina damage by doing things wrong.
My brother's girlfriend said she looked at it for too long.
Yeah,
it's apparently they didn't know what time it was supposed to happen, and they just noticed that it was like ominously gray outside, and they're like, it's a little early for it to be dark, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's go over our setup. We had your sunglasses, some Ray-Bans, and then
pair.
We had my 2 sunglasses. So altogether, we had 3 sunglasses.
I tried to be ballsy and stare directly at it, only because I've actually practiced sun gazing for like a small period of time in my life, and so I was I'll be able to look at it. But I was out of practice, you can't. So
it's something you've got.
You can't just jump right back into. You have to build. You have to build up to it, and the one pair was still not enough, especially not in the middle of the day when it's right above us.
Yeah, if it had some atmosphere between us, a lot more on the horizon,
it would have definitely been easier.
But yeah, so we look pretty cool.
But with your 2 pair and my pair
all stacked together, we're
and our 5 pop collars,
take them off and make a good pun. So that pop collars. Oh man, what else? Freaking 24 was there. What was his name? The guy from 24.
Oh god, I don't know what I'm talking
about. Yeah. And then the Who plays.
And then the blunt comes and the Thug Life music plays.
Yeah, we had both of those at the same time, looking through the top of the
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yeah. But we ended up in your truck, because you have like the top third or whatever of the
Sun
windshield that's
visor
tinted.
yeah.
And so we had 3 pairs of shades looking through the windshield tint up at the sun. It actually worked. It worked. You could see it really well, and it didn't hurt your eyes. I stared at it for like a good 30 seconds.
Yeah,
so.
That was hilarious. I mean, like I said, if somebody else had just didn't know the context, walked up and just saw you doing that, I mean, what are you supposed to think?
Oh man, it's like, no, dude, look.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're missing. Yeah, look right up there, and he looks up and burns his eyeballs off.
It's one of those things you just don't knock it till you try it, man. You know, you think people are crazy, but until you're looking at the sun through 3 pair of glasses and windshield tint, you'll never understand.
Yeah.
You don't have the same perspective.
You'll never know. But yeah, so that was fun. Let's see. So since I've been gone, I've been on.
You went to
2 trips.
So we did the podcasts that we had to nix for political reasons.
Yeah.
And then you went to Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Right after that?
Right after that.
For a week.
So, God, I need to explain that story in such a different way, but I don't want to build it up anymore.
I think it's just dead, man.
It's just dead. Gosh. So I went to Missouri. Allah.
So you went to Missouri.
Went to Missouri. Saw my dad. He races pigeons, so that's hilarious.
That is still funny.
I got to let them out. They'd fly and they'll buzz the house. There's like 5 of them. They'll fly in real low and almost clip you, and then they'll fly around the neighborhood and then come back and land in about 2 hours.
How does he train those things?
They just know because they like food. You know, they like food and shelter, and that's kind of where their eggs are and stuff. So
he just sets them up with a place to live, and he keeps food there, and they just
come back.
But I mean, how do you? It says you race them though. I mean, how does that work?
So he right now is just raising them, but we've raced them before. Where what you do is you have your loft, your homing loft, and you have to drive to a specific location that's rough distance away, and so you have to calculate, like, okay, so from Columbia, Missouri to say Tulsa, right? So you calculate and be like, okay, it's like 350 miles or whatever it is, and you say, okay, well, I released them at this time on this day, and I got this pigeon back this time at this day,
right?
And you basically calculate the ratio between miles and time between those two. So
and then you get like an average flight speed and all that stuff.
Exactly. And, you know, so he won one time like $500 in a competition. So there's actually the National Pigeon Museums in Oklahoma.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Is that in Bricktown?
No, it's I want to say it's in Jones or like East Oklahoma.
Sounds like something that would be in Jones.
Yeah, it's really nice though. That's the weirdest part about it. It's not even just like some guy and his like
that's what I'm imagining.
Pigeons and a chicken, you know.
Some dude who never puts on anything other than underwear and a wife beater.
Yeah, and he's just like, hey,
see my pigeons.
I got a chicken, got another chicken, I got a pigeon. But no, it's a cool place, and they have all sorts of like exotic aviary, you know, types and stuff, and so you know, pigeon racing is actually pretty big in Oklahoma.
Wow.
You know, there's a lot of people that are friends of his that I've met that are just around town that race them all the time. And they have hundreds of them, like whole lofts the size of this house.
That's intense. Is that what they do? I mean, for like strictly or
no? Like some of them are like ranchers, or some of them are just like.
So it kind of goes with their way of life, like they
already. Or I mean,
raise
well, hell, I mean,
way.
you know, Steve, my dad is just an IT guy, or well, he's a coder, a programmer.
Oh, what is it?
He programs COBOL.
Oh,
yeah,
you told me that.
So COBOL and I think C++. But mostly COBOL because it's like mainframe stuff. But yeah, so like, I mean, anybody can do it. All you got to do is, I mean, he even built his own shed. I helped him build one, or a loft, and you put up some chicken wire underneath with 2x4s so you can walk on it. But so when they crap, it just goes through,
right.
And then you set up some little shelves you can get from Walmart, and they just build their little nests in there, and then you have a little pen area where they can just come out. So it's a whole experience, and I'm telling you, man, there's nothing more serene and calming than opening just a little tiny pen gate and just letting those pigeons go out.
They all just fly out.
And it's like, I just was kind of in a godly controlling moment just now. I'm just not putting my head way up there, but I mean,
I have freed you.
Yes, you are.
I have allowed you to enter the world.
And then, of course, the sun's beaming down over the edge and the horizon. It's just a beautiful moment. But
You've released the beautiful white pigeons.
Yeah, well, he has one white pigeon, and the rest of them are funky colored. So, and a Rasmussen chicken called Hey Chicken.
Called Hey Chicken.
Called Hey Chicken.
Is that hyphenated, or is that all one word?
It's actually apostrophe hyphen chicken apostrophe exclamation mark. Yeah.
Tilde.
So yeah, tilde. Yeah, and
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was so big in Oklahoma. I know there are a lot of just pigeons in general in Oklahoma. Like my grandma, the one I was telling you about yesterday, that owned a lot of the rent houses in Oklahoma City. She had pigeons, man, and it was like simply. She just started putting feed in the yard for the other birds that were around.
And the pigeons.
And then a couple pigeons showed up, and then a couple more showed up, and then before you know it, every day, like at 3 p.m., her roof was just full of pigeons because they all know that she's going to go put the feed out, and so suddenly,
attack of the pigeons.
Every pigeon in Oklahoma City had disappeared and then reappeared at my grandma's house because they knew the food was about to come. So
wow,
it was intense, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. Pigeons know where they are at all times. It's creepy.
It was so interesting.
But that's great. I mean, like I said, they shit on everything, but they are.
Yeah, her driveway was always covered, man. Like it.
But yeah, so okay, that was in Missouri where he's releasing his pigeons. So I did all that, visited there, drove around town looking for places to move to.
Yeah,
and
potential duplexes.
Duplexes, right? And that's exciting because
it is exciting.
Because that's exciting.
Because it is. It's just like let's
look at a 6-figure investment.
That's legit.
And that is, I guess we could talk about some of the investment ideas. That's kind of interesting.
As far as like the what you're trying to do with the duplex and everything,
and this little crappy house I'm in.
If you want to, I mean
that's something interesting.
Is there anything before we get into that happened on your trip to Missouri that you wanted to talk about? Like anything in particular other than?
Let's see. I didn't
sure that
go
was
to
a
the
big
strip
part
club this time.
And I've heard about those Missouri strip clubs.
They are nice. Let me tell you, there's only one, and it's the best. It's the best in Columbia.
God.
Oh yeah, it's funny because I went in there last time and I was walking around and sadly nothing ever came of it, but it almost happened. No, not like that. No. So I went in there with my cousin and
God, what?
And yeah, I know my stories are always the best.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Male or female?
Male. Yeah. So unfortunately, I have some cousins on my other side of my family, but I don't really keep in contact with them. Female cousins, but. That would be hilarious to take them.
We haven't hung out in a while.
I don't even know you. Hey, come on over. It's free entry. No. So I went in there, and the big conversation was, hey, let's see if we can get one of these girls to be a portrait model.
Oh,
and do
neat.
It like the old timing ones, because that's how most every portrait or painting in the Renaissance was done. Was let's go find a prostitute,
let's go find a hooker
and just bring them back and paint them like one of my French girls.
For all of you people out there that are wondering, obviously we know the difference between prostitutes and strippers.
Obviously. But
don't you think for a second that we do?
We would never degrade those strippers.
Absolutely not.
And that's not to degrade prostitutes, but just to say there is a distinct difference. Mm-hmm.
Probably get in trouble for saying strippers, erotic dancers.
Erotic
probably
dancers, 1099 workers,
or is it exotic?
Exotic.
Exotic. Then
With
they have to
with
be
no E at the beginning, just X. Dash Otic.
Clever.
Yeah.
Exotic.
Triple exotic.
It's terrible.
1099. Contractors. They're contractors.
They are. They're just, hey, look, we got a gig this evening. We need you to...
it's like, hey, I need my roof repaired, and if you would just come inside for a minute, that'd be great. But yeah,
anyway,
so we were walking around, and you know, right there, because it's Missouri, you know, they have the bar on the outside, and we were getting super plastered, and I got to talking to a couple of them, and boy, they were just crazy as all hell. I couldn't bring them back. I was so close, and I actually got their numbers and was like super legit about it, and they were super chill, and there was nothing really going on. You know, it was just kind of forward with it, and then they just went off on this like horrible, like my brother was murdered and my dad's in jail and everybody's, and it's like, God, I don't even want you near me.
Which makes total sense, but
it's like,
it's also...
first off, I didn't even ask about that. But really, it's like, now that you've told me, it's like, shit, like, I'd love to paint you, but it would be a sad painting.
Well,
there would be no happy trees, you know. There would be no happy clouds.
But so they wouldn't even after they started like opening up to you, they wouldn't go through with it anyway. They would have. Like, was that their excuse or the?
No, they would have. I didn't want to.
Oh.
I was like, this was
just supposed to be a portrait.
And then the other thing is, I'm in Missouri with no place to bring them to. So it'd be like, I would have to come back there.
What was the plan there?
Well, it was to come back and with all my supplies and
have made connections,
and
basically.
Have made connections next time I do it.
That makes sense.
But no, at any rate, kind of a lackluster ending to the story, but it's still pretty interesting.
I think that would have been really cool though if it worked out.
It's always good going to the strip club, man. You know, if you make it interesting. But you know, so anyway, that wasn't even the story I was. So I went up to Missouri this month.
So we've talked about
pigeons, strip clubs,
and strip clubs. What else?
All the necessities in life.
All the main tourist attractions in Missouri, I hear.
And duplexes a little bit, and yeah, I kind of got a tour of the place, and I really like Columbia. It's a good town.
You said it's kind of similar to Norman.
It's like Norman, yeah, here in Oklahoma, and basically it's got really, like, you know, it's like when you drive into like that really nice part of town and all the grass is like too clean and all your walls are all freshly like washed and shit on the buildings and stuff, and you're like,
It almost feels innocent in a way.
It's like, is anybody here?
Has this place ever been touched by reality?
Yeah. What are y'all doing here? It's like they wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and the roosters crow.
Yeah, they don't ever have like any problems.
No.
It's just like everything's hunky dory.
Yeah, it's like what's that movie with Jim Carrey? The
Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Yeah,
where
I'm glad you got that.
How could I not, man? That's
such
just
a good movie.
I love that movie.
But yeah, let's see. Okay, so then I went to Dallas.
And
that was weird. Got there, family problems.
So you went to Missouri, you came back for like a day, and then the next day you went to Dallas, right?
Or yeah, because my cousin came up, the one that went to all the magical places with me, and
was that
Carl?
Okay.
And so we went. He stayed. And we played Xbox 360, Halo.
We did, man.
Split screen.
Halo.
That was the best thing ever.
Oh my god, nostalgia, man! Like
Seriously.
It only would have been completely legit if it was on an original Xbox. But we played Halo 2 on the Xbox 360. We went to GameStop
to buy
2 more controllers.
Yes.
So we could play 4 people on the same TV, man.
And that is a rear projection 480.
480i.
God, freaking damn!
Oh, it was so real.
Yeah, it really was. It was like, and then you know, after a while, it's like somebody, you know, we start getting angry at each other. It's like, this is actually how I ruined so many friendships back in the day. This is how I killed people.
Yeah,
it's
how
like,
the fuck did you stick me?
Fuck you with that double kill.
That was a headshot.
It's like you weren't even. Quit looking at my screen.
You remember when I got that triple kill on that map?
Yeah.
There was 4 of us on the same screen. I got a triple kill. It was fucking raw. It was just...
So good. So good.
Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait. We need 2 volunteers.
Yeah.
Anybody who listens to the podcast, we don't care if you're bad or good.
Get here now.
Let's just go play Halo 2 on the 360 on that old TV and fucking have some fun.
So here's my plan. Okay, here I want to take the Xbox and Halos, all 3 of them. That the only good, and Reach. Reach is good.
I liked Reach.
I like Reach. So the 4 good ones, because fuck Halo 4. And
Call of Duty.
Yeah, really. A Call of Duty with jumpy jump things. And take all that and buy another Xbox and another TV and 4 more controllers and another copy of each of them and take them all over to like Sauced and just set them up
Plug
there.
it up outside.
And just fucking sit there and just be like...
Do you think they'd let us do that?
Honestly, I think so. I think we would be the coolest people on the planet.
I want to fucking do that.
Honestly.
This is
like I had an epiphany the other night.
I just want everybody listening right now to know. Like, first of all...
We are coming to Sauce with Xbox.
None of this shit is scripted anyway, but like, I'm legitimately surprised right now, and I'm so excited.
Every fiber in my body is like screaming.
Oh, God.
Seriously. Like,
no, I love that idea. That's so legit.
If we got your friend... who you
Josh,
said,
yeah, he would probably be down
to bring the
Well,
Xbox.
I've got I let my brother and his girlfriend use my 360, and I know I've got Halo 3 on it for sure. Like I've already downloaded on it, so we could just get another copy. Oh well, you have Halo 3 now, right? You bought it.
I have, yeah. And
so we could just play that, and we'd have 2
Exactly.
Xboxes, and I could take. I mean, we could find another TV somewhere,
Well,
or I could take mine or something.
Take yours.
It's light.
Well, hell, you could take. You know what you could do? We could go get a little crappy projector and just set it up out there and just play it at like 8 p.m. because I have the projector screen.
I mean, we definitely want it. I'd probably want to take my TV. We'd want it to be big enough to have multiple people on if we're going to do it like that.
No, I'm talking like mine's like a 75-inch screen, and you can go get a little cheapo one. But yeah, that would be the plan.
That would be so cool, dude. To go there, chill, have some pizza and some drinks, and just sit outside and play Halo.
Mm-hmm.
God, mind blown.
I don't think, like, if you can come up with a better description for the perfect day, like, I want to hear it.
It's a lie.
It is a lie.
It's a fucking lie.
The cake is a lie.
The cake is a lie. So that was, God, man,
so
good times. That was the day. That was like the day between Missouri and Dallas. So then.
So he stayed for 5 days. We went to Dallas, and I won't go into too many specifics, but we had, surgeries had to happen for family, and cars were broken down, and a whole shit show, and it was just headless chickens running around, and everybody's trying to go to college at the same time and deal with all this stuff, and it was a big deal, you know.
A lot of drama.
It was a lot of drama, and so coming back out of that was like, wow, I don't hate my house. But at least I can appreciate the solitude.
Yeah, the solitude, man. Absolutely. It's like you go down there, and you said, you didn't do any driving.
No,
you were basically passenger the whole time. So it's like you're just kind of literally along for the ride.
Yeah, and we went to the Dallas Museum of Art. Freaking awesome! They were handing out free posters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get one?
I got 4 of them.
Of course you did.
And they're in Dallas because I had to fly today.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did. I brought a briefcase and left with a briefcase and a pair of shoes, and so that was. Oh, I gotta tell you, you're new to this story. Yeah. So I got to the Dallas, like one of the Dallas malls there.
Okay.
Up near Carrollton. Rather large one. If you're familiar with Penn Square, it's on the same level as Penn Square. Okay. So, get to Penn Square, and I'm going out with my other cousin Dave, and we're just walking around cruising, just having a good time. We're playing count how many girls are wearing longer shirts than shorts, and we were were pretty high up on the digits.
The
there.
number was astronomical.
And that, and the amount of guys wearing pink and teal at the same time, and it was just like, wow, and moccasins. It's like.
That's surprising.
It was so bad, and like the hipster haircuts and stuff. And so we were walking around. Anyway, that's not really too important. So we're walking around, sitting on this beautiful girl at the Buckle. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. Like
she worked there.
She worked there, and I just didn't get her number. But I was about to go in there again. I was like, okay, well maybe I'll just go grab her number before I leave. I was like, what is really the point? I'm in Dallas, but before I could. I get stopped by this fucking gay vendor guy. And I mean, this guy is like really, really, really gay.
He is flamboyantly homosexual.
Like literally, if he was any gayer, he would have lit them all on fire.
He would be so upset if you said something to let him know that you thought he might be other than gay.
Yeah, he was honestly. It doesn't matter what you can't.
If you insinuated at all that he resembled a heterosexual man, he would be like, "Oh."
I think his head would explode. And so, so it was weird because I'm with Dave, and we're dressed pretty well. I just got those brand new shoes by that really beautiful girl upstairs.
And of course,
yeah. And so I'm kind of dressed up. I got like a nice shirt and some good pants and everything on, and I'm walking, and he's like, "Oh my god," and has to like stop me, and he's like.
He stopped you with his body language, right?
Everything. Yeah, both. And I was like, okay, thank you. That's all I need. And he handed me some weird hand wipes or something. And I was like, okay, I didn't even know what it was. And I just took it and was walking off. And he was like, excuse me, guy in the black shirt, turn around. Oh my God, come back here. All this shit. I was like, holy fuck! Like, what? What do you want?
You're fucking in it, man. You're in it now.
And I swear to God, I thought, because, so like, he drags me over there. He like takes me by the hand, and I was like, like, Jesus. And
Don't
he does
scared,
this.
Man.
I was literally raped by a gay guy. And, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
and I was hand raped. And so... I think though, because I came over to the place, I was like, okay, I don't want to be a fucking asshole in front of like a lot of people and stuff and be like, okay, get the fuck off of me, But I think that he thought that me and my cousin, who's 20, were gay as fuck.
Yep.
And because we're both dressed up, we're both trying to hit the town, and he and I was like, hey, this is my cousin. He goes, like this fucking thing washes over him like immense disgust that I was hetero or something.
I was so wrong.
and he literally has me wash my hands in this thing with coconut oil.
Ooh.
And which was good.
Yeah. Because
my hands were very soft, but they were too soft. And now it's now I've got baby women hands. They're smaller now, and now it makes everything else smaller.
Now you can't feel like you're not allowed to do any manual labor at this point.
No, at this point, I literally have to call my chauffeur to take me back.
You do,
because driving is beneath me.
And you can develop calluses.
Exactly.
Steering wheel. So.
Mm-hmm. So you understand. A man of culture and taste like yourself. And it was just weird as shit because he kept touching me. He kept poking me, grabbed my hand, and he would do that whole lean in, pat my shoulder. Ha 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 ha.
That's your opportunity to be extremely comfortable because you're in public. He's not gonna, you know what I mean? Nobody's that ballsy to just molest a stranger in public. That's when you should just play along with it and see what happens.
I was sitting there, and what was funny was he had a coworker who was I don't know if he was gay, but I just fucking gave him this look get this motherfucker off me.
I'm trapped and I don't know how to
Please.
leave.
And David kept fucking smirking every time this guy touched my shoulder or whatever. And was like, okay, well, thank you for the really soft hands. I bid you adieu. I will see you behind the Radio Shack at 10 o'clock. Fuck. And
the one with the clean trash cans.
Yeah, that's right. None of that dirty shit. So that was interesting. Now I know what it's like, kind of, to be a girl at a bar or something. You know,
is that the equivalent?
I think so. He laid it on so heavy. It's like it's the equivalent of me when I'm drunk at a bar hitting on a girl.
That makes so. And you felt obligated to wash your hands, didn't you? Like he was putting it on so hard.
Like just so it would end. Like I scrubbed so hard. I was like,
if I scrub hard enough, I will just remove all of what has happened from my body.
Yeah. So
coconut oil cleansed.
Oh God, I was cleansed. Not enough, but so that was something. So anyway, I came away from it clean. I did. And it's pretty cool because David drives a '85 Celica GTS.
Okay.
And so we got back in a manly vehicle right afterward.
Quick, play some metal.
Jesus,
let's go eat a fucking cheeseburger or something.
Like, can we mow the lawn or?
I'm starting to question everything.
And so we got back home and. Just kept laughing. It just laughed it off because it was sad and scary. Had a couple people come over, and
to your dad's house.
Yeah, his dad's place, and
okay.
And just.
Oh, that's right. This is Dallas.
In Dallas, yeah. So we hung out, had a couple drinks. There's some nice mad cleavage there, so it was totally on my mellow. Was totally vibing on my mellow.
Your mellow was never harsh.
Never harsh.
It was amplified by the cleavage.
This is most righteous.
Most amped.
Most right, yeah, most amped. Much tubular cleavage.
Stupid cleaved.
And so that was the end of my time there, basically. And so Dallas.
Then you flew home, posterless, and
no posters. I just got off the plane and got back home, and that was it. That was my trip. I mean, all in all, with the Vegas trip and the LA all back and forth, I totaled it up, and I think it put me right at about 4,000 miles traveled in 1 month. And there's something to be said about that, because if you think about it, the circumference of the entire planet is what did we find out? About 30,000.
That doesn't.
No, not 30,000.
Was that the circumference that you saw online earlier? It was like 12 something, wasn't it? Because we were looking up the size of the moon, and it was 3 point.
That's right.
Something. So
12.7, 12.7, 90. So if you think about that, that is that's a third of the circumference of the planet.
You done good.
Traveled. I think I looked at it on the map, and it would have put me almost in Korea if I'd traveled from Oklahoma,
which is where you want to be anyway.
That is exactly
because you're a god there.
That's right. Fuck. Did we go over that? Is that something that needs to be discussed?
I don't know if that's. You've told the story a few times now. I don't know if it was ever on the podcast or not. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
It wasn't, because I've listened to those.
Well, if you want to tell a story in between, I don't want to just ramble. I don't want to be Connor's stories all day, but.
Cool, man. I mean, you've got it going right now, so just keep the flow, man.
Well, that was the first time. No. I think that was the second or third time I'd ever flown in my life. And it was funny because when I went there, I was 13, 14, something like that. And
South Korea.
And to South Korea, to Seoul, and then to Mokpo, and then to Jeju Island, then back through it again. But what was funny was getting to the airport because... Little did we know.
Leaving?
Okay. To Korea. Was because they were on Korean time when they told us what time to get to the plane. So we fucking.
Needless to say, you missed it.
No, we didn't miss it. But
what?
They called us an hour before it was going to take off. We got there 20 minutes to spare.
Wow.
Because
that's impressive.
Because
dude.
TSA hadn't been that vamped up. So I got through all the security checks. We hauled ass. And we got on this plane. There's 21 of us total. That's with me in there.
Uh-huh.
And that's with some, I think, 4 what's the word? Not chauffeurs, like adults, you know. What is that word? Chaperones. Yeah. And we had 4 chaperones or something like that with us. And we get on the plane, and it is the biggest plane I have ever seen in my entire life. So you know how you get on a 737, and it is 2 rows, or 2 columns of 3 on each side.
Right.
You have 1, 2, 3, walkway 1, 2, 3. So I get on this freaking triple-decker fucking plane.
God.
3 stories. And they have 4, 9, 4. And that's with 2 walkways, 4 TVs, and everybody had a little micro TV on their fucking seat. And you had a staircase in the middle, in the front and in the back. And then you had like coach, premium, VIP, and it was just unreal, this plane. You literally could like play tennis in there, man. It's just like,
so
if you cleared out all the chairs, you could probably play tennis in this fucking beast.
God.
And so we were flying, and it's a 14-hour flight. Yeah. So
Jeez.
Get this, we're flying blood red harvest moon the whole way.
The whole way.
We're chasing the sun and moon. So we're going, and it's on the horizon, and it's just fucking blood red. Oh my god, it was insane. And so we land, get there, and Seoul's airport, also fucking enormous, has 2 rail systems that go around for trams.
Oh, nice.
It has a sky rail, and it has a land one. And and it's like literally like 4 miles long or something. You know, it's just enormous.
So huge.
Yeah, like literally you barely see the other side of it. And we land at night, and I had never really had Asian food before, so they show me their national dish, and I'm like, I take one bite, I'm like, oh, this is so delicious. Done.
Where's the McDonald's?
Yeah. And what's funny is in South Korea, they have McDonald's and stuff like that, and they have a Pizza Hut, and it is like a fine dining restaurant with like mahogany wood, low dim lights, and they have super mega hot spicy chicken pizza. Literally the name.
Wow.
Like that. It has like super mega spicy awesome sauce pizza McGee. And we had that. The third mixed stuff and stuffs. And we had that, went over and went down to Mokpo, where this is where the interesting part gets. Because the flight and all that, that's just whatever. But so I get to Mokpo, and what we do is we have a sister school there that's 3 stories tall, maybe 4, and it's just chalked with 2,000-3,000 Korean girls only, and I'm the only tall redheaded white boy.
Oh my god!
For 5,000 miles, and so I get in there. And they have like this little class arrangement for us where we can go in there and paint and stuff like that. And they show us how to paint, like with India ink and stuff like that, how to paint original bamboo shit like that. It's really awesome. I loved it. We painted a fan and some calligraphy in Korean and stuff. Amazing.
That does sound awesome.
By this just wonderful guy. I can't remember his name because it's so hard to remember all their names. Yeah. But, so I step out of that room, and so does everybody else, and they all turn to look at me, and I turn to look at them, and they just start screaming like fucking
they've just seen a celebrity.
And they think I am a celebrity because I was with somebody who was allegedly an okay guitarist, who was in a home local band, but made it apparent to some people, and they made it apparent to some other people, and so they just see white guy who's kind of tall with long hair, and so they just start screaming, and they chase me, and I start running, and I'm like, fuck! Because it's like 100 of them, like it's like the whole hallway thick of just Korean girls.
Suddenly you were just me. Like living the dream.
And I was like, this is it! I'm running for my life from beautiful women! It's like that, the meaning of life in the beginning when he's running from all the naked, women, and he's like gonna fall off the cliff.
Oh
and I turn a corner, and there's just more of them in front of me, and they see the Korean
girls
fucking
me, way!
And they fucking sandwiched me up in this hallway, and I was like, holy fucking shit!
This is heaven! This is Korean heaven! So, just take me!
I just like dissolve into the Korean hands and faces,
Oh god!
And they just overwhelm me, and
he died a happy 13-year-old boy.
And the funniest part was okay. So my friend Felicia's watching this whole time. Felicia Holcomb, if she's listening, you gotta tell everybody because it's so fucking true. You can't deny it. And so they're all screaming. They're all screaming, and they're saying, "John, Johnny, Jonathan, John." And I'm like, good enough. and they're like, they said signature, and I started scribbling up my name. And I started to write down Connor, and they'll walk away, and they're like, oh, Connor.
No way.
But they don't know, and I keep signing them. I signed like a fucking, 3 dozen of them.
Oh my god! What were you signing?
Just anything, man.
Pennies.
What's funny is they all have like cutesy paper and stuff, so it's all like got bananas and strawberries and
right.
Kaiwai Desu, beautiful things on it. And some of them were like phone numbers, and some of them were like email, because the biggest thing in Korea is to fucking email everybody.
Right? Yeah, it's quite huge then.
So like. I just had so many girlfriends in Korea. It is unfair.
What a freaking experience. And then you had to come back to this place.
So let me explain. So I come back, after visiting the temples and all the beautiful golden statues and the penis statues on Jeju Island, fucking hilarious. and all these just gorgeous moated temples that have these moats around them and bridges and drums the size of this room,
things you can't even imagine without seeing.
Yeah, and in Mokpo they have integration between the new city and the ancient structures with like the ancient architecture and stuff. So anyway, did all that, did the whole run, come back. Everybody was crying, oh, I miss you so bad, and they give me so many hugs and all this stuff, and we take off. We get back. And the next semester, the Koreans get to come to America. And they get to come to Podunk Hefner Middle School, Oklahoma Nowhere. And where we have at the time we had the T buildings, which were
the tone of the story has already changed so much.
Oh my god. It was the saddest thing I have ever seen because
what was it like when were you staying with a family?
I was staying with a family.
So
her name was Hannah Yu. And it's the only one I could remember because it's a white girl's name. And amazing family, honestly. They're just such beautiful people. They were on the 47th floor of an apartment complex. And they showed me, that was the first time I ever watched a Miyazaki film. I'd never even seen anime. And they showed me Howl's Moving Castle for the first time in my life. And
wow.
It blew my mind. And I was just like, where am I? What is going on?
Yeah, so foreign and so, literally another world.
I scared them because my house, we had older shit from back in the day and stuff, and the family built up stuff, and I got in there, and they did their laundry, and their laundry is that little jingle, I think this laundry machine does a little song, of whatever. and it plays a little chime
when it's done.
And I was like, I had a tear because I didn't understand that was like something that was around me all the time. Like, it was just like, I don't know, it was just weird because
when you were there,
when I was there, I just literally teared up because I was like, I just got done watching a Miyazaki film. I've seen, like, at the time that was like really interesting to see like shit that had songs on it, and their place was beautiful. You take your shoes off at the door, you sit down, and they made me a wonderful meal. And they all waited for me to get up in the morning, and they were like, and I woke up and I just saw these beautiful faces, just like pondering my every move,
sincere and friendly,
so sincere, and I just, you know, when I heard that fucking laundry machine play that fucking little jingle, I was like, I don't know why, it just made me tear up because I was like everything is so fucking perfect. It just kind of clicked.
To hear that little jingle, it was like that jingle was almost like your quintessential experience in South Korea. It's like that little happy tune.
Yeah, it was literally
summed it up.
Literally though, and so I just, you know, and just so many things happen, man, that I could never even talk about that are just so dear to my heart.
And made you feel welcome and wanted and loved, and the entire experience was just enormously positive.
It was like I had a freaking sister for 2 weeks, like,
man,
and a family that wasn't
immediate acceptance,
divorced.
and
it was just like, holy shit, you know, like unreal.
So then you come back,
and I come back. So anyway,
and then it's time for the Koreans to visit here.
We get, I want to say, about like 30 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't really heard much about it. I heard over the intercom, everybody welcome the Korean students, blah, blah, blah. Also, PE practice after class. Somebody left their gym bag here, and then click.
Yeah.
And so I go, and I'm walking to class, and it was just like nobody made a big deal about anything. And I'm walking, and I remember I was going to like my Spanish class in the T buildings, and I'm walking, and we just lost AC, and a skunk had died the week before in there. And I walked, and they have like storm doors only on the outside of these things. And I walk in, I open the door to go into class, and I walk by, and I look on my right, and I see like 15 Korean students and 15 American students. And they're just sitting there, just arm on their hand on their chin, just
that pondering,
just bored,
just boredom,
just like another kid in the classroom, just sitting there, and some of them with their heads down and shit, and it literally, it hurt so bad because here we are in fucking America, the place where some people come as their dream to escape like something, to become a full person, to live the American dream.
No matter how good they think they have it there, they probably thought, we're going to the land of opportunity.
The land of opportunity.
We're gonna go see the magical American place.
And they got in that classroom, and it just struck a deep dark chord in my heart, man.
Yeah, because of how they made you feel.
They made me feel like a fucking just a superhero, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even describe it. Every day, even the boring days were still filled with just bewilderment. You know, it's just like I'm in a new place where everybody looks at me and they want to trust me and believe me and love me, and they're so interested in me.
They're so excited to know about you.
And everything I do, whether it's big or small, is just an adventure to them.
It's new.
And exactly. And you know, because I just walk around, and they would be hanging out the window, just like staring at me or like waving at me. Like, oh my god, annyeonghaseyo, you know, just like fucking just hello, you know, greetings or whatever. And then these fucking Koreans here were just sitting there, and in this no AC roomed shithole,
smelling like skunk,
corrugated steel, learning random dumb fucking classes.
Surrounded by American students
that do
really
not give
don't
a
even
shit.
care that they're there.
I saw them later that day, and they walked down the hallway to change classes or do whatever they were doing, and they were just like getting bumped around and shit. You know, just everybody walking past each other, and it was like you're just another kid.
You're just here like we are,
and it's like the idea that you are, first off, that we even have Koreans in America to begin with, like, just took hundreds of thousands of years, you know, and the accumulation of thousands of civilizations. Like, the idea that we even see Asian people at all requires multi-billion-dollar corporations with airplanes to fly across a 3,000-mile-long pond to land you, and you know, we have the gall and nerve to like not even say hello.
It's just, well, that's just so amazing to me that even at that age, it's not exciting to us. It's not enamoring to us.
I know.
We
take it. We're so jaded.
Yeah. It's why? Like, why are we even at that age? Just like, Koreans.
We didn't even have a Korean student in our school. There wasn't even any Asians almost in general at Hefner. I mean, I want to say like Felicia Holcomb, the girl that went with me, she's half Korean or half Japanese. And then we had, I remember two girls, I can't remember their names, but they were, I think one was Chinese and one was like Thai or Vietnamese.
Okay.
And that was about it. You know what I mean? Like, we might have had some others that I just didn't really associate with or see, but like the overall majority was like Asians are like.
I don't even know if it was just the fact that that they were Korean or Asian in general. I think it's just
a thing about America.
It almost shows how we're just subconsciously raised with that entitlement factor built in. Like, we don't care that you're here. It's like, we just care that we're here, and we barely care that we're here.
Yeah,
so,
no shit.
So why the fuck would we care about you?
It's like, and it hurt, man.
Congratulations.
And that was another thing is, you know, even when I was walking down the roads in the streets and shit in Mokpo or wherever, I mean, like, people would stop and look, and it was like literally celebrity status. We were actually on the news. We went on the government news that they have there. Yeah. And I think it could have been broadcast for quite some ways, but at least for Mokpo. And they had our little entourage of 21 all stand up formally in front of a large crowd. Yeah. Where they handed us these little funny booklets that had honorary seals. We were kind of like ambassador people, you know, little kids or whatever.
Right,
but still, like, that's the level that they went to. They had the fucking local news.
You guys were on the news, and they had a ceremony for you.
Yeah.
And they just treated you with such respect, and then the other kids get here, and it's just, they're just like, hey, welcome to America where you're on your own. Figure it out. Hope people like you.
So, you know, it just, gosh, you know, how do I sum up my feelings? But
it's just,
man.
I mean, the parallels, man. It's just, they're like poles. I mean, it's just complete opposite experiences.
So, and that's what happened. So that was my first. Well, I think I went to Mexico before then, but. That was my first experience outside of Oklahoma.
Definitely the most memorable, obviously, the most influential.
So, yeah. I don't know what else to say about that, but next time you see somebody, and they have an accent,
maybe think about how they're feeling.
Yeah.
And how long they've been here, and maybe instead of becoming scared and showing aggression or fear in some other form towards
or confusion,
them.
Or something.
maybe just kind of assume that, like, if they don't sound like they're from here, they're probably not, and they're probably a lot more afraid of it than you are.
Yeah.
So try to try to show them that we're nice here instead of just immediately
treat them like a fucking celebrity sometimes.
Instead of giving them that whole attitude of like, oh, what the fuck are you doing here? Maybe you should be like, oh, hey, fellow human, I don't own this place either.
No.
Want to go get some ice cream?
No shit.
Let me be nice to you because I bet you're probably afraid like I would be if I went to your country
out
alone.
Nowhere, you don't know where the hell you are. Yeah, no, totally. So
yeah, they don't know the fucking landmarks. They don't know the surroundings. They don't know how the streets run and everything. It's just like
anything.
Yeah.
So that's why I've always had foreign friends for the longest time. Everybody in my the last couple of years have all been from Nepal, and so it's like I don't have a problem with accents. I think if you have an accent, it means you're smarter than me, because I don't fucking speak anything other than like Paquito Español, Donde es la baño, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, that's about it. So
right. Well, I mean, and most, it seems like almost every other country has their language, and then they also learn English. Whereas we grow up here
and
learning,
yeah,
quote, English,
yeah,
and most people don't even fucking do that. You know what I mean?
No shit.
They don't learn how to use punctuation correctly. They don't learn how to speak correctly, or
type everything with the wrong letters.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like when you're in high school or even college, how people will write 15-page papers, no punctuation, no proper noun capitalization, no. There was one example a teacher showed me. It was literally 15 pages, not a single period in the entire thing.
How is that even possible?
It was the whole thing was just one giant run-on 15-page sentence.
Holy shit!
So it's like there are just some people out there who think that it's.
Well, and we catch the worst of it being, 46th to 50th worst in the nation on education here in Oklahoma. So
yeah, out of all the states, we're pretty fucking low.
I mean, it's not helping that we don't have. Any semblance of recognition for other languages.
Well, no, of course not. I mean, and I don't want to get it always goes political. It just has to. But there was that show, Ni Hao Kailan, right? The Chinese girl, the animated show that was on Nickelodeon or something. And it ran and it was on and it may still be on. But when it came out, I heard so much shit
backlash
from people about oh God, now they're trying to teach all the kids Chinese and we're getting the China people coming here, and it's just like, motherfucker, maybe we just need to learn about these other cultures.
Yeah,
because all we are is just a big fucking crock pot full of them anyway.
Yeah, it's what is the entitlement about? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are we defending? What are we so proud of? What do you think your heritage is?
I mean, I'm half Irish, and Irish were dogs 100 years ago.
Yeah.
We were below black people, maybe. I mean, I don't know exactly the specifics because they're pretty much all, murdered or enslaved or somewhere else. I mean,
a lot of races were at this point. Well, I mean, the Native Americans were treated that way.
Yeah, murdered and enslaved and killed.
The Chinese built the railroads.
Yeah,
and then you've got the Irish who came over, and then I don't know the full story behind that, but they weren't treated well. I don't think they were enslaved, but they certainly had a hard fucking time.
Well, and they've had that problem between them and the English before even coming over here. So it's like.
Who came here?
Yeah, it's like
the English.
Your idea of what even a white person is just so stupid. I mean, and again, I'm not trying to say that.
Well,
woe is me, an Irish guy.
To take it to color is almost like the most basic childish concept. And what's funny is that even children don't see that as a factor for the most part. It's just it's about. Mannerisms and language and actions and all of that. Color makes no fucking difference, really. And they're
it just becomes an identifier for when you can associate.
It's people want to be comfortable, and in order to be comfortable, things have to be figured out. And in order to figure things out, most of the time they have to be easy. And so the easiest way to identify who's good and who's bad is to say he's black, he's bad, or he's white, he's bad, or she's darker skin, she's brown, she looks. Indian or something, she's bad. And so it's just or whatever. And it's just so, the fact that it's that easy should let you know you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like if you're able to discern who a person is by looking at them, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah,
There's just, I mean, that's just all there is to it. There's no way. It's, I mean, yeah, you can look at somebody's outfit, you can look at somebody's tattoos, you can look at somebody's hair color, skin color, whatever. But I mean, talk to that person. Tell me that within the first minute of talking to that person, all of the ideas you have aren't completely different than what you actually thought. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because a tattoo or skin color does not a person make. You know, so, and that's just the thing is you know we look at all the Asian cultures and really every other culture there is. I mean, I'm including like India and the Middle East. I mean, I guess it's kind of like Asia, but when you throw all that in there, you know, they're the outside world. You know, I just got done talking to a guy from Dublin.
Okay.
And you know, when I was at Sauce the other day, and you know, he had quite a few things to say, and what he said was, I came here to America, and everybody wants to ask if in Dublin it's like 100,000 person town where everybody has pubs and wears green all day and fucking you know,
it's like, yeah, because that's how people live every day.
Yeah, every day
and that's,
in Dublin.
That's like somebody I know who asked me if everybody in Oklahoma drives tractors around all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we all own fucking tractors, and that's all we drive here. We don't have cars like everybody else.
Why would you need a car in Oklahoma?
Yeah, no, you don't, because it's just all land. We just
yeah, there's no roads here, you know. But that was the thing is like I can't remember his exact figure. But he says like it was like 6 to 8 million people live within like a 50-mile square foot or 50-mile
radius
square area,
50 square miles, yeah,
square mile, and I was like, holy shit. You know, when I think of Dublin, I mean, I think of like London, but smaller or something. But I don't know.
Some people think of like one cobblestone street with a lot of pubs on it, and they're just like, that's Dublin.
That's Dublin,
that's it.
And he said it's literally like if you took a chunk of San Francisco or LA or something like that, or New York City, and just like slammed it into Ireland, and then, because literally they have more tourists than they do the population.
That actually makes sense.
You know, and
as much sense as that doesn't.
And again, I'm getting the statistics wrong, but at any rate, the thing is you know, perception about the outside world, aka everywhere except for America, is completely fucking wrong and should not be assumed. Because you know what's funny? Some of the biggest, best, nicest buildings in the world are the Burj Khalifa, and that's in the Middle East. You know.
Oh God, dude, go to the. I want to visit the Emirates, man.
The Emirates, yeah.
Like, holy shit, I'd love to go to Dubai and just. I couldn't even imagine what those structures look like in
where
real
every
life.
single brown person is driving a Maserati.
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
Yet over here, we're just like fucking darkies. You know, it's just
so fucking stupid
like
and
we're
backwards.
Isn't that so funny though? That's
yeah. And it's like and here you think that every time you think of the Middle East, you know the first
you assume terrorists.
You assume fucking woman in a shawl, sand, and fucking like you know, concrete destroyed buildings. That's like my regressed mind. If I were to think about the Middle East, that is what I can come up with.
One of the problems is that that's what people get fed, man, you know, and like a lot of the people who aren't intelligent enough to try and find things out on their own, if they only watch Fox News or something, and that's like the only channel they watch, and that's the only information they get, and that's all that they're showing there, that's literally all the information that person receives is from that one television program, and so it's like you've got to broaden your horizons, man, your spectrum.
So, you know, I definitely encourage anybody to see anything outside of the United States, even Mexico City, which, by the way, is fucking enormous. I don't know if you know, but like, it's, you know, like the size of Dallas or bigger.
It's got to be huge,
you
man.
know.
I mean, it's the capital.
It is the capital, and you know, but when you think of Mexico, again, what do you think?
Cartels
and drugs, and a guy in a poncho with a fucking hat just walking around selling tamales. Like, no, it's like a first world country, and we just don't accept that.
Well, that's the problem is, people make those assumptions, and then they convince themselves that because they've seen this tiny little clip of a tiny little place somewhere in that area or in that country or wherever, they're like, oh, I know what that is now.
Yeah.
I know what Mexico is. I've seen it.
Mexico's this one picture.
Yeah, Mexico is Pablo, and Pablo wears a raincoat on the corner and sells drugs. It's
there you go. And that was the same thing about when I went to South Korea. I had no idea what to expect there. I heard South Korea. I was like, oh, it's kind of like how I imagine Japan. How do I imagine Japan?
Yeah.
And so I got there, and it was like, well, shit. It was like walking into the Matrix. It was like fucking. Just things moving so quickly. Everything's like 4 stories minimum, and you're just like fucking just thousands of people here and there, and you're just going, and the taxi drivers drive 50 miles over the speed limit. Not even kidding.
Man,
we were literally in a taxi there, and the taxi 1 block over fucking lost his brakes and went down going 120 miles an hour, hit a gas station, and the whole fucking thing went up.
No way.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you sure they weren't shooting a movie?
Honestly.
God.
And so it's like, I didn't think that was what South Korea was going to be. I didn't know what to expect. But
how would you know? I mean, that's why people get so fucked up on drugs. And I know this is a pretty hard slant to segue into, but that's just kind of where I went with it, I guess. But people get you have the DARE program in school and everything, you know what I mean? They're just like, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Drugs kill you. This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. And it just, you get filled with all this imagery, and then you think you know, and then you judge off of this pseudo knowledge because what do you really know? You haven't experienced that.
It's all empirical evidence you've been handed from.
Think about just when I was in grade school and doing the DARE program.
Yeah.
Was like 5th grade. It's been like 17, 18 years now or something.
Yeah, about right.
Now, like fucking a majority of the states in the U.S. are legalizing cannabis for medicinal purposes and recreational purposes, and it's like, and all these horror stories I heard less than 2 decades ago were telling me that it's going to shrink your fucking brain and it's going to kill all these cells.
Be a paraplegic.
You're gonna want to murder white women and all this other stuff, and it's just like, really? Because I know people who just get super fucking stoned and go to work and do better than they would if they were sober.
Yeah.
So
because now they can tolerate a customer's bullshit. They
have that alleviation now, and it's like, and I'm not advocating one way or the other, but it's just like, this is the reality now. It is being legalized, and that's just one example. You know what I mean?
You have a shift of perception to reality, and that's the biggest thing I've found out in life. Like right now, as a 24-year-old, which I'm still fucking young, but the more I live. What's that quote? The more I see, the less I know.
I think it's something along those lines, or it's like the more I understand, the less I know.
And the thing is like I've understood so much that I thought I understood. Right? It's like, what is a job? What is living? What is eating? It's just like, and then you take a step back, and then you find out that like half of everything you've ever seen is just like this imaginary world you've built.
It's literally your own perception, and then you've just like transposed it onto what the world actually is.
Like
so
the idea
there's this veil.
Yeah, like the idea of structure with a job. What is that really?
Yeah.
It's just like autopilot, assuming you have a routine that you can find something to do again and again. But really, I mean...
Well, when I think about the reason that people become frustrated with their jobs, and this, of course, is just one thought or example, but like, you go to work, it's new, it's exciting, you have to learn the job, you have to get comfortable, you have to do what you're doing, you have to figure out certain ways that certain people like things done, and you get your body used to this routine and this schedule. Well, when your mind has to quit functioning on the level of learning and that constant input and calculation, then it becomes you're just a cog in the machine. But you do this stuff on autopilot more or less, because now you're 6 months in and you become accustomed and your mind starts to wander. And then that's when you start having those thoughts. You're like, why am I doing this? What does this really mean? That's when the discomfort comes in, because sitting at home, you get bored, you have those thoughts, you become uncomfortable, you think, fuck, I need a job, I need structure, I need this thing.
This and that,
And so it's like, what really is it that is bothering us, or that is disturbing our minds, that we have to keep ourselves so busy to try and forget about or to evade?
Honestly, like
what really is the reality that we're avoiding by saying that we need structure? Like, what's the problem that you're trying to solve that you have no answer for, that you think a job is going to solve?
Right, because that's what most things that are sequential like that come from is, pushed back, repressed problems. People trying to move, or people trying to get out of this and that and move up to a better job. More than likely, it's not because they didn't like the job. I mean, why did you get there in the first place? It's probably because you have weird relationships there, or your fucking hands are so numb from typing all day that you literally can't think straight, or something like that. But it's never just, I don't know, because I've been at my job for 2 years, and it's a fucking dream job, instructing drunk bachelorettes all day.
Yep.
Tell me what your perfect scenario is, and let's compare. But I mean, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah. It's never just the job, man. It's you. You know what I mean? You have to find. It sounds cliche. Sounds motivational, it sounds sappy, whatever.
Yeah.
You have to find your own happiness. And most of the time, you're not going to find it externally.
No.
That's why eventually people turn to drugs. Or if they realize the drugs don't work, hopefully they get clean and they turn to meditation and yoga, or they like to run, or they like to work out, or they like to paint, or write music, or express themselves in other ways. And it's like, we just have to.
We can't allow ourselves. That's the problem, is we never allow ourselves to be happy.
Going to a job, no matter what it is, will not tell you who you are. And deep down, regardless of what anybody wants to say, regardless of how many scientific journals publish that we're Homo sapiens and who our ancestors were and all this bullshit, and I'm just using the word bullshit. I'm not saying it is bullshit, but who fucking knows? Is that we don't know what we are. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we are.
We don't purpose.
We don't know what's going on, or else we wouldn't be so fucking neurotic, man. The people, you want to see the people who have figured it out, at least better than we have. You look at monks, who are just so chill that whatever it is they know, maybe they just have come to terms with the fact that they know they'll never know. And so they're okay with waking up and doing things slowly, and tending the garden, and meditating, and eating, and smoking a little tobacco, and then just helping people out and going to sleep. I mean, because really, what else is there? In America, all of us are just helping other people pursue their dreams, supposedly. It's like when you go to a job, all that job is a company that somebody has created within the accepted confines of society that allows, the system to keep generating money. And you're helping whoever it is that created that company in this society fulfill their dream. And the shitty thing is, most of the time their dream is just to make money. And the company is just a fucking, it's just the puppet, you know what I mean? It's just the marionette, and the guy at the top is pulling the strings, and he's like, okay, well, we want to work on getting everybody healthy. But in reality,
it's more efficiency for more money.
It's efficiency for money, and so it's like whatever they do that's supposed to make people quote unquote healthier, it just means that it's something that's going to work to make the company more money. You know what I mean? And so it's like deep down at the root of it. I use car salesmen all the time.
Yeah.
As a good example, it's like they will tell you straight up, "I just want to put you in a new vehicle. I just want you to have a new car.
Yeah.
I want." They don't want to put you in a new car. They don't want you to have a new vehicle. They want your money. And they want you in a new car in lieu of them wanting money. Because, it's, I mean, if you trace it back, it always goes to the money. And so it's like they want to put you in a new car because, we want people to be more healthy. because we want you to have this because, and it's just, and if you follow it back, it's like, what's the real intention?
Well, and another thing to that is, honestly, to rebuttal to it, I mean, yes, it is just about money for most people, and that's why it's so frustrating when you're living in America, because everybody already has money. I don't know.
There's a lot of
everybody's a millionaire.
There's a lot of intended sincerity behind the people who want to create certain companies, but in doing so, like, you still have to abide by those rules. You still have to make enough money to keep your business going, and that's tough.
I hate capitalism, man.
It's tough to legitimately help people when you also have to worry about making them pay you for it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know what another system other than capitalism that would work, but I can just tell you, it makes people. This is my example I like to use because Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher, put it best when he described the waiter who moved a little too quick, who smiled a little too much, who walked with such a pace and his shoulders back in such a way that he was the waiter.
He was the waiter. He was no longer a person. Yeah.
And that's the problem I find with a lot of people is when I worked at Best Buy, it was like I was the fucking stupid computer salesman. I wasn't Connor. I legitimately was I need to get this person a computer so I won't get fired, and that's it.
And I see that in people now when I go places, man. Like you hear the pitch, you hear the script, you hear what they've been taught in training, and it's just like, fuck, man. Like, we are raised as little robots, built into this system to generate more money through the means of these companies, and it's like, and until people wake up and realize that they can make it work for themselves somehow by creating a business to actually better people, they have to go along with that shit, man. And that's why people go crazy, is because they realize there's more, but then they're fucking stuck in it.
Yeah, because you're already half a robot.
Yeah, so and it's like, fuck, dude, this is what I've been doing for 20 years, and now and then you finally realize what's going on, or at least awaken to it more,
Like, what a revelation it is, at that moment in time when you find out that it doesn't matter if you make money every day. It doesn't matter if you have a job. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, what really matters? Fucking having sex and dying at the end of it.
Yeah, honestly, that's all it's about.
Really? Why do you even need money? Because you want to fucking get that boat so you can go impress some bitches, so you can get some.
It is about the things. I mean, if you really strip away everything, like if you take away the supposed necessity of the newer car and the nicer this and the whatever, it's like, that's all ego, man. That's all our fucking primitive brain of like, I need to be the peacock with the prettiest feathers.
Yep.
Because honestly, that's what it is. You know what I mean? You get all that stuff, and then what do? You want to show it off.
Yep.
You want to show people.
Yep.
You want to be like, look at what I have now. Look at my shiny new Lamborghini. Look at my new house in Beverly Hills.
Has to know.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
and so it's like, in reality, then what are you really fucking doing it for? It's nice to have, but when it's not nice to have without anybody else being aware of it and sharing it with you, then what's really going on? What do you really want?
Like, do you really like Lamborghinis?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't really like a Lamborghini? But maybe you wouldn't get such a flashy car, like get a, I don't know, like a higher end BMW. I mean, it's nothing's as flamboyant as a Lambo.
Yeah.
Then
a Flambo. Lamborghini.
And that's the thing is like, you'll have just an even nicer interior in like a really nice AMG.
I totally understand wanting to have something nice. I mean, you live life long enough, and you're like, you know what? Like in my case, it's just like, you know what? I'm sick of this fucking Honda. I'm sick of cloth seats. I'm sick of this shitty headliner. I'm sick of that one window that doesn't roll up all the way. I mean, I understand wanting better things, but there's like real sincere motive there. It's just like, I need this to live the life that I'm living here. Why not have something a little better? But there are people who they don't have that same sincerity behind it. It's not really that they want a new car. It's that they want a new car because...
Here's an idea. What if we based our ideas of other people off of their personality?
Well, the problem is we're all the same.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're just robots that gather information and extrapolate from each other.
That's true. Some of us are just really shitty robots, and we don't realize that's what we are. And then we just get stuck in the same cycle of programming, and it fucks our bodies. And then we teach it to our children, and we die, and they do the same thing, and they have children, and they die, and ad infinitum. So.
Yeah. Man, that's pretty awesome. That's all, folks. Yeah.
But really, man, it's just all about, the problem is, it just all goes back to fucking comfort. Comfort's one of the problems too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Certainty. Like, people want to be certain. People want to be comfortable.
Complacent in life.
Yeah, people don't want to feel that fight or flight all the time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to... Well, it's like with the drugs thing, you know, like that's one thing that did it for me. You know, the first drug I ever tried was mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't ever smoke weed, I didn't ever drink alcohol or anything like that, and that was just its own. You know, I needed a life-changing situation basically, and that was recommended to me for what I was going through, and it just changed. It was such a positive experience that I had no other way to live other than to start questioning everything. Like, I've always been inquisitive. I've always been, you know,
me too,
intelligent, not trying to toot my own horn. I've always just questioned what people say and known that most people are just kind of full of shit, and they talk to talk, and they don't have real data behind their words. And but after that, it made things so certain and so clear that it just, I mean, if anybody else were to do something like that, like, you know, you go through the DARE programming and the school programming and the news and the parents and all that teaching you that it's bad, and then you have that positive, enlightening experience.
Well, it makes everything else seem so much more negative, because everything you've been told, all that structure.
Then you realize, you're like, wait a minute, I just physically, truly, really experienced this for my own self, and it was wonderful. What else have I been lied to about?
Mm-hmm.
And therein lies one of the problems, because then, depending on your age, depending on where you are in life, depending on who your friends are, what you're surrounded by, like, people can break down, man. You know, it's like, if you don't have the right group, if you don't have other open-minded individuals around you, then you may suddenly feel completely isolated. You're gonna be like, fuck, look at these people I'm hanging out with. Fuck, look at where I live. Look at where I work. Look at I mean, you're open to all of that, and then it just, not only do you begin questioning everything else, but then it almost becomes, it hits you so hard at once. Whenever, I guess I just want to say, whenever your mind is opened, that may not be the proper example.
Well, but the experience of it.
Yeah, but it's just that one thing, you know. It's like when people realize that them being born was an accident, which is like every fucking person. And I don't know if anybody's thinking about that or has thought about that before, but that blew my fucking mind.
Yep.
I was driving one day and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then it just hits me, and then it's just one of those things that keeps building and building, and then before you know it, you know, you're in your 30s, and then you just realize, you're like, we're all just fucking retards, man. Like, we don't know anything
at all.
We don't know.
We literally exchange information for doing mundane tasks.
The smartest guy on the planet still probably beats off into a sock, you know? I mean, it's just like, we're all the fucking same.
It's true. It's true. You know, I remember the first time, I can say this without a doubt. I remember the first time I questioned anything, and that was the Pledge of Allegiance. And I fucking sat down and walked down a hallway, and I said, nope. I can't do that. Yeah. It's not that I don't like America. I love America.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with patriotism. It's just
This is brainwashing.
Yeah.
I know brainwashing, and I've been told literally just only information from authorities for my whole life at that point,
which are non-existent.
Yeah, exactly.
Authority is a concept. You know,
exactly. I mean? And so, you know, I was like, fuck it. And I just kept walking, and everybody's doing the I pledge allegiance to the flag.
And their hand isn't even actually over their heart. It's like in the wrong fucking... It's like they don't even know where their heart is. They're just... It's
of the United States of America. How's it go again?
To which it stands. Yeah, one nation under. I mean, what? I mean, I'll be honest, and a lot of people are probably gonna be pissed. I don't fucking care.
No, I know.
I don't care about the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, it's just like, and it's not that I have like a bias or that I think about it every day and that I draw satanic circles in my floor or anything. But it's just like I am an individual person living on this plane.
That is not an individual thought.
Living the life that I want to live, and in the life that I want to live, that is not a thought that I want in my mind. Like it's just, it doesn't serve me.
And you know, the backlash I got from that, man, from walking, was I got detention because the teacher came over and was like, flag, you know, and I was like, no,
I don't feel like doing that.
I don't want to. Yeah, it's a fucking.
And that's what school is, man. It's just like it's literally a fucking brainwashing facility. Well, I watched a video about the type of education that we receive, and I can't remember the name, so I'm not going to talk about this for too much. But it was just the idea that instead of having like people around and having like an educator that gives ideas that are then expanded on by the individuals themselves, by the students, you know. It's just like, here I am, I'm the authority, you're learning from me, what I say is gold, memorize it this way because I am in this situation and I am in this, place in the institution that gives me this imaginary power.
The highest anyone could ever aspire to be is this fucking lowly paid elementary school teacher.
Yeah, or, you know what I mean? Or the high school teacher, or the professor, or whoever's learning. But it's that one individual teaching in their way to other people who may not learn that way and who may not be interested in that information. And it's it's, I don't know.
That's why
the structure is just unnecessary in that aspect.
I will always appreciate my philosophy teacher because he would teach us the Athenian School of Athens way, where we come out into a circle and he is
that's fucking brilliant. I love that, man, because that's exactly how it should be.
And there's a topic or something like that, and then you're just allowed to talk in the circle. And he, as a mediator, can expand upon other ideas because he has a little bit more knowledge.
It's not that he's a better person. He just has more experience in that area, so everybody can then contribute. Yeah. And then he can be like, hey, I like that idea. But what about this? Or also, on top of what you said, here's an expansion.
Now you.
And then, oh my God, man. Like, that would be...
Imagine if every fucking class was like
society would break down in a generation. Mm-hmm. It'd just all fucking go to shit, man. It's like... it wouldn't take long.
And to that end, we should be teachers.
That's one of the reasons I want to be a teacher, is that I can finagle my way into the system and then change it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much the only way you're going to be able to do anything. It's like you have to comply, you have to conform enough
just so you can be able to have some control.
To try and have some control, yeah. So but that's the problem, is that the people think that what they're going through is it. Mm-hmm. And that what they're told and taught is it, and that that's the way that they're supposed to come out a certain way. And in reality, you should just be looking at it as like, well, this is a world of tiers. This is a pyramided world, more or less, and it's a top-down type society. And so I need to get closer to the top, because if I feel like my views and opinions are more correct than so-and-so, the only way to express that to multiple people would to be in some sort of authority figure position, to let the people who are thinking that I'm the authorita, you know, and they will take my word as gospel. So then, and it puts a lot of pressure on you, but it's good, because if you are really certain and really secure in what you think you know, then you can at least try to broaden the horizons of those people, and maybe at least, even if not teach them certain things, get them to think about things differently. Yeah. Like, that's the idea, is just to start opening your mind a little bit.
That's the biggest thing I've always had, too, is like, I have friends that are like, you know, conservatives, liberals, Democrats, you know, no opinion, all of them. Complete leftists, you know, my brother's a complete anarcho-socialist, and I indulge all ideas. Because nobody is ever truly wrong in their heart. Yeah. I never have malicious intent for anybody.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And I know that I'm just like anyone else. We're all the same fucking person with different experiences around, or a different environment.
Well, that's I don't know, man. That's just another easy way that people know things. It's another easy way for people to understand the world is by conforming to a category,
stereotyping, and
so they're just like, oh, Connor, you know, he likes to paint, and he's not a Christian, and he drives a truck, and it's just a few other things, and then in their mind, whatever they associate with all of those individual aspects,
that is who I am.
Becomes you,
based
right?
off of the stupid fucking feeling they get towards trucks.
Exactly. And then they're like, oh, I know how those guys who drive trucks are, and I know how those painters are, and you know, it's not you, man. But they don't know,
and that's why I hate it when people are stereotypes. When you actually find out that someone
they are living that so hard, that scares the shit out of me.
It scares me too.
It scares the fuck out of me because, I mean, oh god, because
you're reinforcing.
They are in it so hard, and you know that deep down, I believe deep down, everybody really knows that this is all just a sham. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game. Everything's a game.
They play that game till they die.
Everything's a construct, and so it's like those are the people who get angry. Those are the people who get really angry as soon as you don't play their game.
Yep.
You know, as soon as you say something that is outside of their realm, or
because it questions everything they
or
are,
that gives it away a little bit. Did you listen to the Joker, the Alan Watts thing that I was telling you to listen to about? It's kind of the same thing. It's like the Joker plays many roles, and the Joker is like talking about the
court. Over it a little bit more.
It's like he just kind of compares like the court jester to a different type of intellectual. Like, he is the person that understands, because he understands, he realizes that the world is just a game, and it's just a joke.
That's right.
And the reason that he's able to go and perform in front of the king is because he knows that he's not a king. He knows he's just another person in a position in this constructed form of life, and he gives it away a little bit. He gives it away in such a way, and just enough, that it is what we call humor. He gives reality away just enough to enlighten people. You know what I mean? In a positive, funny way. You know, and that's what comedians do. That's what comedians do.
Because really, what is humor anyway? It's actually just us understanding that there's some truth behind what you just
a lot of the
said.
things that people say are things that, like, you know, somebody gets up on stage and they talk about something we all do that we're ashamed of, and it's fucking funny.
It is
because
funny.
we know it's true.
It is
and
true.
It's like, and that's it. It's funny because it's true, and because we repress it, and we know we're stupid, and we know that we're just like hiding everything inside of ourselves. Yet we all do the same thing anyway. So why be ashamed? It's you know,
what should shame even really be unless you're dishonoring your family or something?
It's just
you know what I mean? Like,
it's
not even real. Shame is not even real.
The amount of guilt that people feel for things. I had this thought earlier while I was driving to get this table that the recorder is sitting on. And it's all of the assumed guilt. You know what I mean? Like that people have, and I just had this idea in my head, and I used to care a lot less, man, and I was a lot happier. But I detach from emotions and situations and people. That way I can truly look at it objectively. And so I was just imagining, you know, a hypothetical memory situation.
As we all do.
Where somebody was talking to me and they basically told me something in which a normal person would, react with an emotion.
Okay.
And of course I just said something like, well, that seems logical, or well, you know, that makes sense. And they got upset
because you were supposed to react.
That I didn't react the way that they knew that I would react based on what they were telling me and in what manner. They were like, I'm expressing myself this way, and this is the content of the story, so I know it's going to equate to this type of reaction from the listener. And because I didn't give them that, it fucking broke them, and they got angry. And so they were like, well, you don't care about whatever this situation is, and you don't, and how are you not upset at what I'm telling you? And it's just like, I'm sorry, like, do you want me, is that what you want? I thought you wanted to give me this bit of information and we were talking about it. I didn't realize you were just trying to fucking get me to cry for you. You sick fuck. Like, seriously. What are you really trying to do? Like, why are you trying to pull these emotions out of me?
Although this is a hypothetical mental
conversation.
Hypothetical.
but it's happened before.
The reason it's funny, the reason why we laugh about it is because it is true.
It is true.
There are plenty of people that just sit around and just want to get things out of you because it makes them legitimize their experiences more.
If they can tell that story and they can embellish a lot and they can, put on the anger and the frustration a little bit, then they're like, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to sell this fucking story and Connor's going to get angry too and his anger is going to validate my anger and that means that what I'm pretending to be angry about is correct and then I know that I'm right and then I know that every time I tell this story or I'm in a situation that's similar to this,
it's usable for
I know how to act.
That's right.
And then they build on that,
right.
but it's just it's a matchstick foundation, man. Like it's just waiting for that one spark to burn it all down.
Fucking nightmare. Because the worst part about it is the enablers and the justifiers.
Mm-hmm. The people who won't speak up, the people who won't tell them
what they really want to say.
Yeah, the people who just let it go, and that's
worse, say. Go along with the story,
and I'll admit, man, I've become that because I just get so fucking sick of correcting people and arguing with people, and
honestly,
it's just like so now I just have, that's why I become introverted. That's why
because your voice doesn't really matter because they're not really listening.
They don't really want to hear information. No. They want to tell you something and they want to get the expected feedback, and when they don't, conversation's over.
Yep.
That's it. It's like, oh well, I can't talk to you. You don't feel the same way I do. You don't believe what everybody else believes that I've chosen to believe, and so you're not. I can't talk to you.
Oh, it's so true though.
Mm-hmm. And it just, man, if anybody out there feels the same way, fucking my heart goes out to you because that's
seriously
like
me too.
Probably the life story of an introvert. I'm assuming is just knowing that I read somewhere. I can't remember what it is, man. Like, I see so much stuff. But it was just like a quote type thing where it talks about how the intelligent people, the reason we don't have or we don't see all of these intelligent people in society, or at least we don't have as many of them as we should, is because they're so few and far between that they get engulfed in the rest of people that don't understand. And when you're the one smart person surrounded by a sea of idiots, like in the fucking ghetto of Midwest City where we are,
you regress into a tiny cave.
Then it's like being the fuck, man. It's like being a Charmander surrounded by water types, and you're just like, don't put my flame out. Like I can't. So you retreat to the cave, and you just and all you have are your own thoughts, and you can't grow. No. You can't evolve without experience. If we're still using the Pokemon metaphor, So it's like, get the fuck off.
There's the door.
I know where the door is. I live here.
Fucking magic player. Oh shit! But no, it's true though. But I was going to say, as a human, as we are social creatures. Mm-hmm. We require. I mean, what is the purpose of having a dog?
Even the intelligent need validation.
That's right.
And when you don't get it, you regress and you repress, and it's
so you're right, man. It's like that quote is that I said last time. That think of the average person and know that half of them are dumber than that.
I know, and it blows my mind, man.
But here's a better quote than that one.
What's so funny is those people all know how life is because they've settled on everything.
So this will go with that. The mass, or the population, the plural, is dumb, but the individual is smart. Mm-hmm. And so, when you think about that, and you're like here's an example. All the immigrants are all stupid. Well, and so are all the people that judge all the immigrants.
Right.
But for example, my neighbors are illegal, Mexicans. Mm-hmm. And they're some of the nicest people I've ever met. They look after me. They make me food. They make me tamales all the time.
I bet they're fucking delicious.
They have wonderful little kids.
Yeah.
And he, we share beer and tequila. And he gave me some Dawn something.
Yes.
And it was,
I know what you're talking. The 100% agave.
Yeah. And it was the expensive stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's like he doesn't even speak but like 10 words of English, and I can feel sincerity in his heart.
You can just, like, you know who he is, or at least you can kind of tell.
Yeah, but like, you know, if I was just some dumb fucking redneck guy, and I'd just say, oh, well, all illegal Mexicans, well, they're obviously stupid because they don't speak English.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, I don't even have to say a word to him. Mm-hmm. You know, a beer, pop open a cold one with the boys. And
I've heard it, man. It's great. Like, you guys, he walks outside,
amigo.
Yeah, and he's like, amigo, and you're like, hola, amigo, and that's it. And you both laugh, and that's the end of it.
That is it.
And nobody's upset. Like, it's just
so pure.
Yeah, it's
so
like
pure.
That's all you need. I mean, all you need is amigo.
And a beer,
and a beer, and you guys are cool. Like, and that's
seriously,
and that's wonderful. That's all it takes, man. Like, it shouldn't. It shouldn't have to be more complicated than that.
No, and honestly, that's why I say the more we see, the less we know. The more you say, the less you hear, man.
The more you really start to experience for yourself, the more you start to question other things that you haven't experienced, that you've told yourself know.
Right. And I only knew, you know, illegal aliens as like poor people that like are fleeing bad cartel problems. And
they're all angry, and they all live in slums,
or whatever. And it's like, the fuck is that even from?
Yeah.
When did when was I first told this? And when did I just believe it out of no context?
Maybe they're all poor, or that idea came from the fact that they've fled their fucking country. Made it to somewhere completely foreign to them, tried to find a place to live, and then they're just doing what they can while being illegal in another country. They probably would be poor.
I'd like you to, if you want to really judge an illegal immigrant, why don't you try fucking going to any other country on the planet and trying to get a job with nothing.
Run to another country with nothing.
Yeah.
And then see how you do. Yeah.
Fucking first flight out, and it's not easy.
God, man.
Amigo.
Amigo, man. It's beautiful, too. And the children, the kids come out, Amigo! Yeah, it's just like, hey, hola, amigo.
Buenas tardes.
That's good. It's like, motherfucker, it's noches.
That's it. As soon as you say something like that, it's like, no.
Yeah,
none of that.
It. Amigo.
Amigo.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to see that. Honestly, it's the simple things
like
that.
It's so, well, and it's funny. It's like, he's like, amigo, and you're like, amigo, and then you guys just both laugh because you know that's all you have. It's just like, you know that's it. Like,
what's great is his wife, she speaks English pretty well. And so I'll tell him all sorts of dumbass stories like that one at Lake Hefner, you know, and she'll translate it to him. And so all he gets is his wife telling him these funny stories about me. So that's the only information that he gets. It's dumb shit like that.
What he thinks about you.
But you know, so it's like that's it. So it has a pure, moderated voice that can be purely listened to. You know, no bullshit. It's like just the information that she cares about, that she knows he'll care about, and that's it. You know, you can't gussy up a story. You know what I mean? Like you have two people. It's you're playing phone there.
You gotta be pretty straightforward.
That's right. And so it's just funny talking to his wife, because she's a trip anyway, because. They always get in trouble with the neighbor, because the neighbor's always wanting to threaten to call the cops on them and shit, and they're always like threatening to, sit there and have the cops call them. Like they literally can't do anything. And it's
which neighbor is that? Is that the guy across the street?
The
one that's kind of catty corner.
There's a guy two houses down who's the official neighborhood watch asshole.
Oh right, yeah.
And they leave kids' toys, like the yellow and red car that little kids can pedal in their front yard, or even in their backyard, and he threatens them over that.
To call the police?
To call the fucking police, like, man, we got a 1131 over on Midwest City over. He's like, I need backup.
Some cop is listening to this, and he's like, how did they know 1131 is child toys in the yard? It's
Tonka toys. Shit,
we're gonna change the
code. And but it's sad because they're powerless. They're literally, they can't do anything, and their
They
kids
really
are
can't.
the shit end
Well,
of this.
what's really shitty is that, like, how low do you have to be
to sit there
to make a threat like that to people that you know really can't do anything about it?
Yeah.
I mean, at what point do you finally realize they're just a family?
Yeah.
Why don't I go over here and try and see? I mean, why don't you fucking care? Like, why don't you actually go over there and be like, hey, man,
you believe in this?
Is your garage full?
Yeah.
You need me to store this toy for you? You guys just don't feel like putting it up? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, if you actually gave a shit about the neighborhood, you wouldn't just say, I'm going to call the police on you for having a toy in your yard. Mm-hmm. You would maybe walk over and try to introduce yourself and be a person. And try
be a human.
And try to find out why they're living in such a way. I
know. And it hurts because, like, they're honestly, like, besides Blue, the best neighbors in the fucking whole street. Because, I mean, well, Blue mows everybody's yard. But you know what I mean? Like, they keep to themselves, and they're nice and sweet, and they're never loud, and they're never, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. You're right, though. Perception is.
Well, I think I mean, it's
stupid.
Just there are like a few basic things that drive humans, and fear is one of them. And so, like, the only reason that anybody would see something like that and immediately snap to calling the police is because they don't think it's something they can handle themselves.
Yep.
They're not properly equipped, you know,
to handle
psychologically, physically, whatever. Like, they can't, you know, they wouldn't even go over and attempt to talk to them.
No.
Like,
no way.
You don't think they can understand a conversation you might have with them, but you think they're going to understand when you threaten to call the police.
Right.
You know, like,
exactly.
I mean, what are you really even doing there? Have you logicked any of this at all?
Any of it. And that's the biggest problem, is that I feel like with everyone, with myself included, is like, you have all these preconceived notions that everybody is this, you know, don't get in a stranger's car, they'll rape you, don't let anybody in your house, they'll kill you in your house and live there for 5 months. You know, don't talk to strangers, don't pick anybody off the road who desperately needs a fucking ride in 98-degree weather.
Yeah.
Don't, you know, it's like, and yet on the other side of that coin, we are the most social animals on the planet, and can only thrive off of helping each other. And the one thing we want to do is
the one thing we
can't do.
Yeah,
that's
so difficult.
It's so sad that we can't. You can't just trust anybody.
Well, it's like everybody. I mean, we have these little communities that we live in, these neighborhoods, these streets, you know, where we're all close enough to each other, but we still isolate ourselves in our homes to do whatever it is that we want to do. And as soon as somebody's doing what they want to do, that interferes with what we want to do, instead of trying to come to terms or come to like some sort of agreement, you know, or this mutualistic understanding, or anything, we're just like, he's fucking up my TV show, you know what I mean? Like, he's mowing the lawn at the wrong time or whatever, and it just
mowing the wrong time.
So it's like, we're just so individualized, you know, that we don't even consider
it's not
that
even
like
a human out there. It's
it's just a fucking distraction. It's an interruption. It's just
but
taking away from what we were trying to do, and
other than that, man,
the other side of the coin.
I guess that's pretty good.
That's a lot of what are we looking at right here?
147. That's I think we've covered it all.
We've done
we will just never have another podcast from this day on. We already got all the information.
Maybe next time I'll tell stories.
Yes. Would you freaking please tell a story?
You gotta pull them out of me, man, because I don't ever really just.
Oh man.
I know you gotta like kind of
we'll
prod me a little bit.
We'll leave it on a cliffhanger for Uriah's stories.
I'll tell one story. Get them warmed up.
Oh, okay.
Warmed up for the next one.
Let's hear it.
I mean, I don't have one that I want to tell in particular, so I'm gonna have to think of something. But
you bastard,
I know,
you fucking cock teasing,
I fucking
motherfucker.
I'm just playing with the tip right now.
Oh, it's just the tip. That's what they always say.
That's it.
And then they just rim it in.
Here it comes.
There's blood. Oh, okay.
What I mean, help me out here, man, because I kind of just do things and don't really think about them until, you know, people mention things that remind me of them. So
I don't know, man. think your thing is, man, is you don't think of a lot of your events in your life as stories. Like,
yeah. I'm not doing it thinking about, like, I can't wait to tell somebody about this. I'm just doing it because it's what I want to do, or it's what I should do at the time.
Yeah.
Well, here's something.
Okay.
And I don't really want to talk about it too much, because I feel like the more I talk about things that I don't have, like, a set in stone plan for, the more it starts to crumble, right?
Okay.
You get that negative feedback, and it just kind of fucking kills it.
Oh,
but
that's all right.
the processor fan on my computer, like the little plastic mounts that keep it there, broke, right?
Oh.
And so it's not quite, it's on, but it's like, if you bump the computer a little bit, you know,
the system falls apart.
The fan might pop off and it might overheat, and so it's just like, it's real finicky right now.
Yeah.
So I actually ordered a new processor cooler.
Okay.
And I ordered a few fans because my case has 0 fans right now.
Yeah.
Because the one that came with it had a short, and when I plugged it in, the computer wouldn't start at all. So so I had to take the case fan out, and so well, luckily, you know, that graphics card's got 2 fans on it, so it kind of helps.
Yeah.
So I bought these things. I don't like ever buy things for myself other than groceries. I got a processor cooler. I got some fans.
Like anything.
He knows. And I also I bought those things, and then like the next day I had an idea, and I'm thinking, like, what can I do? Like, I need a creative outlet. I need to be expressive, right?
Okay,
like, I like the podcast because we can talk and we can just do it without instant feedback, and we can post it and go from there, right? Yeah, and it is what it is.
Rewards.
And so, yeah. And I was thinking, like, what can I do? And so I thought, what about a YouTube channel? You know, I mean, what happened was I actually saw a guy on YouTube. Like, I just stumbled across this channel. It's weird, you know. I listened to a lot of Alan Watts videos, and Terrence McKenna, and just a lot of like philosophy type lectures. And so this guy just popped up, and it's called Coy's Corner, I think. And it's just some like real hippied out dude. You know, he's playing the role well. I mean, he's got his little ashram going and everything, and he's totally into it. But what's so cool is like the way that he talks. You know, he references Alan Watts, and he references Terrence McKenna, and he talks about a lot of the things that I've listened to, and a lot of the experiences that he's had, and his views and opinions sounded similar to mine. And I thought, well, this guy's fucking doing it.
Yeah.
You know, why can't I? So I started doing more research. I've got a Galaxy S5 Active.
Yeah.
And that thing, not only does it record in 4K, which I did not know, because it's like a 2-year-plus old phone, 3-year-old phone or something. And I
didn't even have 4K back
then. And but it records in it, and so I've just weird,
yeah.
I've just been letting the neighbor kids play Pokemon Go on it.
This masterful piece of wonderful futuristic technology,
and horribly attempting to mine fractions of cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, for pennies on the penny.
Quite fucking literally.
Seriously.
So I've just like had it. It's just an electronic device that I refuse to get rid of. You know, I kept it as a backup phone, and so I actually did the research on the phone, and you can record in 1080p at 60 frames per second on that phone.
Wow.
And I did it, and I recorded like a 1-minute video to tell. I recorded in 4K at 30 frames, and then 1080p at 60 frames. And the quality difference between the two is ridiculously noticeable. Like, it flows so much well. Like, it looks
on the 1080?
Almost looks more than real in 1080 at 60 frames.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my god, like. And I did more research on people who've created YouTube channels, and a lot of them do record on things like phones.
Honestly, that's the most underappreciated part of quality of video is 60 frames compared to 30.
Right, and so that was kind of what I thought. I was like, this thing records at 60 frames, and so I did my comparison videos, and then that was when I realized, I was like, well, I've got video quality.
So are you talking about building computers as a YouTube channel?
No, where this is all coming together is like...
Okay.
I guess I was talking about the computer because the computer is just kind of something that it started it. Like, I bought those things for the computer, because
So
I'm
you
going to
needed-
be using the computer to upload my videos and
But
stuff.
you needed
so
an
that was-
outlet, and that wasn't quite good enough.
Right.
For you,
So it's like I've got to make sure my processor stays cool and the
Uh-huh.
computer stays cool. I bought the fans and all that.
So this YouTube channel.
So I have the phone, right? And I looked up everything you need to start a YouTube channel, and other than like video quality, which I have now from this phone, there's not much to worry about. Like, I mean, I'll need to create a little intro something or an outro, whatever, and all that stuff. But I've got like the expensive shit taken care of. I already have the phone that can record HD at 60 frames, and then I went and bought a lapel microphone that is made to plug into the headphone jack on a phone, right? And then I bought a tripod with a cell phone mount already on it. And so I spent like a total of $26 with tax and shipping and everything to get just a basic tripod with cell phone mount and a lapel microphone. And now I have, you know, this table that I brought in here, and I still am not 100% sure on the topics, but I think it's just going to be like a video blog type thing where, you know,
Could you imagine this whole area? Like,
I could probably do something with this, man. This little hutch, this like hang stuff in here. I thought
like
about,
Bob and Doug McKenzie.
I thought about doing it over there, like moving the table and showing the painting and the amp and everything, and or the corner or something like that, you know. But I'll figure all that out once everything comes in. But my equipment comes in tomorrow, so I'm kind of excited because tomorrow I get everything. It all shipped, even though it was ordered at separate times. I set it to ship the most efficiently, so I ordered the microphone and stuff like a day after I ordered the processor cooler, and that stuff hadn't shipped yet. So it's all been boxed together. I'm getting all of it tomorrow, and I'm just gonna fucking have a day, man. And I'm gonna put all that stuff in my computer. I'm gonna start playing around.
This is what it's all about: is the drive, man. Is the going and getting it and just getting it done.
Doing it, because this is how easy it is. I already have the phone, and I can record with it, and it's gonna look fucking phenomenal. I spent $13 on a lapel microphone that had excellent reviews. I spent $13 on a tripod that already came with the cell phone mount that had excellent reviews. And it's like, I mean, I don't need studio lights and professional equipment, you know, to record from inside my living room. And it's going to look good, and you're going to hear me well, and it's going to be uploadable. Like, what more do you really need? And so I thought, fuck yeah, man, like, I've got the life experience. Now it's just a matter of telling people about it.
Now all you got to do is come up with a story from your past to tell on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got so many stories, man. It's just, but I'm gonna try and find specific topics.
I'll dig them out of you next time, and we'll
like,
get something good.
I'm probably gonna start going back because, you know, I've got like those 100+ recordings, those voice recordings where I'll have a thought and I'll record it, and I'll have an idea and I'll record it.
That could be bonus content on a CD we could release.
Could be, honestly, eventually. You guys are getting the exclusive shit now, you know. Nobody else knows this. Nobody else knows that I'm going to potentially start a YouTube channel. Nobody else knows that I have all these personal recordings.
You heard it first, live.
This is it, live, on the podcast.
Second kind of live.
Whenever you guys...
we need to be live.
We could do live one day. I mean, we have Facebook, you know. We could do a... you can even YouTube live, can't you?
Yep. And Facebook Live is hell yeah.
Well, fuck. I mean, I've got 1080p at 60 frames on my phone, so I mean, we could do that.
Hell yeah.
And record live sometime. So anyway, I guess that's my story.
Let's look forward to it, man. Let's get a YouTube channel going for you.
It's going to be my individual creative outlet. Is going to be the channel.
Okay,
so
man.
more information coming on that later. Maybe I'll use this to blast myself out there. I'm probably just going to make a post on Facebook about it to all 13 of my friends, and then see who watches it. So
okay. Well, let's see if let's do some shilling out now. If you like the podcast,
oh god,
like us on YouTube.
be sure to click here in the upper right hand corner where you can donate for my dog's open heart surgery.
Smash that like button and hit that
subscribe the shit out of that, man.
Subscribe the fuck out of us.
I want you to take that mouse and rub it counterclockwise.
Oh,
I want that
baby.
Pointer, that cursor going over the subscribe button.
Turn it into that little
until it turns the
finger.
Deepest red, and then I want you to click so slowly,
so tenderly. I'm rubbing my
and
nipples
don't
right
release until that finger cramps. All right, that's the way we want it.
So deep. Oh, I felt it. I just felt the mouse release.
You did.
I did.
I felt the release.
Now I felt it clicked another 2 times because they just Re-unsubscribe.
They're just like, yeah. They're just fucking.
I just hear it. It's
Subscribe,
hitting.
unsubscribe.
You know, there's gonna be one person that's like, "Holy shit, he can hear me!"
God damn.
God damn, Miss Jones. Okay, well, I think
Local Oklahoma man found dead and suffered major heart attack.
he found out aliens are real and that people could hear him through his microphones. Oh shit, man. Okay, I think that's a good way to end it. What do you think?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's probably about as good as that one's gonna get, man.
Okay.
I don't think we talked about anything that's gonna get anybody arrested. So
yeah, well,
probably.
like, sorry for that delete, guys.
Yeah,
we'll have to come up with a parallel story.
It took a little while for us to come back from that one.
Yeah.
So, but
so next time we have looked forward to your stories, and I can fabricate a story that is just like the one.
as long as
No
we
names,
have as long
no
as we have
specifics.
topics, I can come up. So I guess the problem I don't tell stories most of the time is because a lot of the stuff I have is just negative. I just don't like talking about it,
Well,
you know. So
no, the people want to hear. I want to hear.
You're right. Well, you're probably right. They do want
We
to hear.
need
That's right.
negativity in
They
our
need
life
they need
because it makes me feel better as a person.
they need to experience that emotionally by proxy through me.
Mm-hmm.
That way, they don't have to have that experience, but they can attain the emotional experience
so they know what not to
from my
do.
story. Yeah, so they're just like, wow, that's how he made me feel, and that's how he felt, and I don't ever want to feel that way.
This is a controlled environment
for myself.
thank God.
Yeah, I can experience this with people I trust over the internet.
Jeez, I don't trust anyone on the internet, but that's
Yeah,
all right.
You shouldn't, but us
Yes,
though.
only. We're not
Shit's-
on the internet. We're just on YouTube.
Shit's,
That's not the
shit's
internet.
real, guys. We're in my living room on this
Yeah.
crappy dining room table.
Yeah, we got-
and we're just talking about life.
Yeah, we
so
got stuff and things.
We do.
right here. This is the reality is
This-
stuff and
this
things
is
and
it.
things and stuff.
reality is realizing that nothing is so serious, and that if you want to just get a voice recorder and hang out with your friend and talk about experiences, then that can be your life, or at
Okay.
least a part of it.
Very nice, nicely put.
Connor and
You my
Uriah.
dude. Fucking
Right
A.
here.
Lightning
Everybody.
strikes in the
That's it.
background.